What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Ethereum today. It is the 19th day of November, and here we are sitting at about $2,900 with 6 hours and 15 minutes left in the day. We've seen a bit of a plunge. We're at the lowest levels that we've been at, really, since, dating back to July. It's kind of crazy how low we've gone. We are finding support potentially at prior resistance here. If we look at this, resistance right there, support right there, hey, support right there too. It might make sense. We'll get to it. There's some things I want to see, some things I want to talk about that are exciting and both exciting and troublesome. There's different sides of the spectrum. We're going to address both of them, the bearish and the bullish cases. Okay, so hit the like button, subscribe, and let's get into this. From a low point on April 7th to the high point in August, we've retraced this move down to our 382, the yellow line. Now, typically, and we've done this already, typically in very strong moves like this, you expect to find direct support at the 382. Sometimes, and oftentimes enough, you actually do wick below the 382 and then come back up and close above it, okay? We've got 4 days left in this week. We could absolutely come back up and close above it. We'll talk about that in a second. But on a daily basis, what we've done is we bounced right off this level, bounced right off of it, went up to our 236, found resistance, and now we are below this, okay? Now, on a daily basis, we've already closed below it once, closed back above it again. I don't know how serious it is or isn't on a daily basis for this fib, right? Relevant to any of these moves here, this fib kind of has no significance, right? Like we wouldn't be measuring this fib on the daily time frame. Really, we'd probably be taking the high to the low, if anything, not the low to the high, because this is just on a whole different scope. If we look at the weekly time frame, though, this fib makes a lot more sense. So what I'm trying to say by that is, does it matter on a daily time frame if we close below the 382? I think it matters, but it matters most about what the weekly does. If you bounce off the 382, you reject the 236, and you close below the 382, like we're about to today, you typically go down to your golden ratio, at least to your 0.5, which means that we have a zone of $2,600 to roughly $2,000 to encounter if Ethereum closes below the 382. Now, this line here, the 382, is at about $3,043, roughly $3,000. And I do want to backtrack again to what I was saying a second ago, and I might not have said it the best way, but I was trying to, is that I don't know how significant the daily close below the 382 is. We had a close already, and then the next day we ate it up with a bullish engulfing candle. And now here we are back down. Maybe on a daily basis it doesn't matter as much. A close here today might not matter. But the weekly sure as hell will. And maybe it does matter on the daily, but I'm just saying, regardless if it does or doesn't, the weekly definitely will. If we close in the next 4 days and basically 6 hours and 15 minutes, if we close below $3,043 this week, then I fully expect we will see a $2,600 to a $2,000 price, something like that. Technically, the statistical probability would be that we go to $2,250 to $2,050. But I would like to think that we could find support at 26, where we found resistance before here, kind of a turbulent area here, and a turbulent area here as well. I'd like to think that we could find support back there. And we found prior support kind of in this range right here and right there as well. It's all kind of in that zone. We don't have to, but it's just a thought. And again, that thought becomes statistically more probable, most probable, when or if we close below $3,043, $3,045 this week. If we do that in the next 4 days and 6 hours, $2,600 to $2,000 is a statistical probability. Now, if instead we come back up by the end of this week and we close the week above the 382, we're not absolved of going lower. We could still go lower, even if we close this week above the 382, but it lessens the chances that we go down here. And it puts the ball back in the bull's court, where we're going from the 382 to the 236, and when you break below the 382, you should be going down to this area at a minimum, at least the 0.5, if not lower. But if we get back above the 382, that's kind of odd behavior. And that puts the ball back in the bull's court, where we could go back to the 236. Now, the lines that we're paying attention to so far are $3,043 and then $2,600 to $2,000, right? That's the range. But to the upside, $3,667, $3,670, if this level breaks, if we close a week above this line, or maybe 2 days in a row above this line, that will validate whatever low we have. So, in other words, nothing that we do here more or less matters if we're not going lower. once we close above the 236. We close above the 236, that implies the low is in. That implies that we will see higher highs, okay? Doesn't mean that we have to. Doesn't mean that we have to move up from here. I don't know what I was just saying there. I'm sorry, I got stuck on something else. But we absolutely could go up there if, as long as we do not close this week below $3,043. We're at $2,900 now. I want to look at the short-term stuff and see what the probability is, or what the charts are telling us, what the likelihood, the forecast, the view is of going lower or finding support and moving higher. I want to look at the short-term stuff, but again, it's just important to address 3670 and 3040. I think these are the important levels to pay attention to right now, because if we don't hold 3040, 2600 to 2000 comes into play. It's something to address, but I don't know if it's something to necessarily worry about just yet. And by the way, if this happens, it's going to be a very short-lived experience. I'm kind of curious, how much has Ethereum dropped from its high already? Dropped about 41%. I don't know, man. That might be it. That might be it. We did a 40% drop. That might be it. Bitcoin, when it had the same market cap levels that this thing had, 40% drop was it. That was it. Last cycle, what did we get? We didn't really get too many drops, did we? COVID crash drop. High to low here, how much was that? That was 35%. High to low here, 33%. High to low here, 36%. 30% drops are common for Ethereum, but a 40% drop, that's pretty significant. That's all I'm trying to say. And you're at a significant level for support based off of 382 and prior resistance here and prior support there and prior support there. You're at actually a pretty key area to find support if you were to bounce. I thought I heard knocking, but I don't think there is knocking. There is knocking. What day is it today? Oh, it's Wednesday. That's right. Well, let me finish this video up and then I'll answer that. Looking at the 1 hour time frame here, we are building a lot of volume to the downside. Okay, we are breaking out. It is possible that we go lower. The 1 hour time frame is oversold. Stochastics are oversold, and the MACD is looking like it wants to cross down as well. I would say, looking at this here, sorry, I got thrown off by the knocks. I would say it does look like we want to go lower, to be completely fair. But we are, at the same time, on the RSI and the stochastics and the MACD, we're at the same levels that we were every other time that we actually found support. So even if we do go lower, we might bounce from here and go back above $3,000. The 4 hour RSI looks sad, the stochastics look sad, and the MACD looks sad. I would think that we go lower. So 1 hour and 4 hour time frames are both telling me that we go lower. Likely from here, if we do go lower, the expectation is that we'll see something around $2,800 to $2,700. Okay, we can still hit this level, find support, and then move higher without hitting 2,600. But again, it's all predicated on this thought of, do we close above or below $3,043? This line right here, do we do that by the end of this week or not? Right? If we can get back above 3,043 by the end of this week, I don't care if it's Sunday and we close up here and then next week we come back down. We could still, because we closed up here, we could still wick and then close back up again and then move higher. Okay, 3,043 is very key. If we do close below there, then we'll likely move. 4 hour time frame. Looking at this here, we'll probably again go lower, but I think that we could bounce right here. Daily time frame. Looking at this here, it is a bit bearish on the RSI. It is a bit bearish on the stochastics and the MACD. The MACD does have bullish divergence. We are building bullish momentum, but of course we can still go lower. So it's something to pay attention to. Do we or do we not this week close below $3,043? If we can get back up above there, fine. We're saved. We're not going down to 2,600 or lower. But if we do close below 3,043, we likely do see 2,600 to $2,000. That's all I got. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I very much do anticipate that regardless of whatever the outcome is, whether we move up, whether we move down, and then we move up, whatever it is, we likely will see new all-time highs. It's just a matter of time. And the next target area to consider when we do see new all-time highs is something roughly around $8,000. All right. Take care. Bye-bye. See you later.